Hey everybody, I am Haley Gray and I hope that you are having a really awesome Monday. I know that it has been a crazy day here. Mondays and Tuesdays tend to be my kind of craziest days of the week. It seems like everybody comes back online on Mondays and they're like, oh, look, it's time to catch up with stuff. If you're catching me on the live, give me a hashtag live. If you're catching me on the replay, give me a hashtag replay. And hello everybody, good to see you. I wanted to do a kind of a meaningful Facebook Live for y'all. I am Haley Gray. I'm a digital marketing strategist. I do a lot of fixing broken marketing for clients. I'm also an MBA with a concentration in entrepreneurship and innovation, and I actually volunteer and I help students with their entrepreneurship certificate over at Duke University. I'm one of the volunteers. The volunteers with the INE program over there. Hey Aida, good to see you. So I have a lot of experience with small business, not just starting my own businesses from the ground up, but also with other people's small businesses, with a lot of coaching. And you know, my experience has basically shown me that there are a couple of things that small business owners do that end up costing them a ton of money, and they end up costing them clients, they end up costing them a lot of frustration, income, everything. And you know, it is kind of one of the things that most breaks my heart, because a lot of the reason that we started our own business is to become financially independent. At least I did. It's to be able to call the shots, it's to be able to do what we want to do when we are, you know, our own bosses. It's to give us more flexibility. Part of the reason that I am in business now, the way that I'm in business, is really not because I couldn't go back into corporate had I chosen to do so, because I'm a software engineer with an MBA, so I can do all kinds of crazy stuff. But really, it was the flexibility to take care of my oldest daughter, who has a traumatic brain injury from a fall from a horse, and subsequently has developed a lot of psychiatric issues, and she's been hospitalized a lot. So her care needs have been pretty outrageous. She's not at home right now. She's actually in an inpatient hospital at the moment. But it still takes me 10 or 15 hours a week of doing paperwork for her, which is not real manageable if you have a typical job, especially when you've got calls with social workers and calls here and calls there and calls yonder. So I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about two things that I think that cost a lot of small business owners a lot of money in their business. So raise your hand and be honest with me if you have a marketing plan in your business that covers at least the next 2 to 3 months. So raise your hand if you've got a social media plan, a marketing plan, you know what you're going to be marketing for 2 or 3 months. You know, nothing complicated, but says, you know, these are my specials, this is what I'm doing here, this is what I'm doing there. You know, these are my marketing plans for the next little while. And you know, I don't really expect anybody to raise their hand, because one of the things that I see chronically with small business owners is that we fly by the seat of our pants. We don't have plans. We want to have plans. We have the best intentions to have plans. But you know, there's a lot of flying by the seat of our pants, and we don't have a 3-month, much less a 6-month or a 12-month marketing plan. And a lot of people are going to look at me and go, oh my God, that's just totally nuts. And I'm going to be honest with you when I say, look, I don't care what your business is. I don't care if you're selling makeup. I don't care if you're selling Mary Kay. I don't care if you're selling jewelry. I don't care what you are selling in your business. If you do not have a plan, you have a plan to fail, particularly as it pertains to your marketing, because relying on getting up every day and remembering what you're supposed to do is going to kill your business. I know it has done it for me. When I don't plan out my social media posts, when I don't plan out my content, when I don't plan out my marketing plans, what ends up happening? Absolutely nothing. Because I'm just like everybody else. I get too busy. My kids go crazy. I've got 3 kids at home right now, and I've got the one in the hospital. Life just really gets in the way of doing this whole business thing. And it's not that I'm better or worse than anybody else. It's just that I recognize that if I don't have a plan, then I have a plan to fail. And it is just a very simple thing in business. So if you don't have a content schedule, and I'm not talking about anything super fancy, but you know, I was talking to somebody today and they're like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to schedule on social media. I don't know what to do here. I don't know what to do there. And I'm like, write down each month of the year. It doesn't have to be anything super elaborate, but you know that in January, most people are setting resolutions. In February, you have Valentine's Day. In March, you have St. Patty's Day and, you know, various health awareness kinds of things. In April, you've got, you know, April showers, you've got Easter, you've got all kinds of stuff, right? In May, you have Memorial Day. In June, you have a ton of weddings, right? Depending on your thing. It's also a high vacation month. July, you have July 4th. August, you start to get back to school. So write down each and every month, and you're going to see that you can have themes around either health topics, or you can have themes around holidays, you can have themes around all kinds of things. If you're really bored, go on to daysoftheyear.com and look and see, you know, what holidays are happening for you and where they're happening and how they can possibly tie into your business. So Meg does these little lanterns, right? So I have a little dragon one, and I have a hope one, and this one's for COVID-19. And I'll show you my dragon one, right? But, you know, if she goes and she figures out when International Dragon Day is, make up a topic, right? Or Fairy Day, or whatever, you know, National Cinderella Day, you know, Dress Like a Princess Day, you have the schedule almost memorized, right? And then you can post about whatever that is that day. And then you can build your social media content around that. And what's really cool a lot of times that people forget is that you can reuse content from one year to the next. Your content doesn't have to be completely and totally new and different. Chances are, if you reuse some of the graphics that you've created, if you reuse some of the photos you've created for your products or for other things, people aren't going to remember, and they're certainly not going to care. I see it a lot with people where they do challenges, right? They'll do a challenge and they'll do it once. Y'all, if you do a challenge, ride that sucker until the cows come home. You know, you have a 4-week promotion schedule, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. You know, where you're promoting it in a very familiar cadence, and you can even use some of the same graphics over and over and over again. And what's cool about that is that people really start to get to know you, and they get to know your business. And as boring as it sounds, you know, like how a lot of singers complain about having to sing the same song over and over and over again, you know, you end up actually being super consistent, and people start to know what you are talking about. And that is the second thing that a lot of business owners don't do, is that they are not super duper consistent. And when I say consistent, consistency in message, consistency in posting, consistency in showing up, consistency in all kinds of things, right? So if you don't have a plan and you're not consistent, those two things are likely killing your small business. And I'm not really sure why my daughter just texted me and asked, do we have any fabric? I think I should be afraid. I think I should be very afraid. And I should probably hide my sewing machine. You know, so when we talk about things that are killing small business owners, it is consistency and it is planning. It is amazing to me how easy it is to fly by the seat of our pants. And we're like, hey, look, we got such and such done, and we did it at the very last minute. Y'all, doing stuff at the very last minute is a really good way to kill your business, because procrastination leads to burnout. And burnout leads to unhappy mama. And if y'all don't have this saying where you are, in North Carolina we have it, if mama ain't happy, ain't nobody happy. And when you're burned out and you're tired and you're cranky and you're not feeling it, it is really hard to be effective in your family, and it is really hard to be effective in life, and it's really hard to be effective in your business. And scheduling and planning and consistency help smooth the way. The really cool thing too about planning and consistency is that you can plan to be consistent with Facebook Lives. You can plan to be consistent with your social media posting, a la Buffer, aka schedulers, a la Meet Edgar. All of these things can lead to consistent sales in your business because you're being consistent about showing up. It's not about the person who has the most WYSIWYG, the most beautiful, the most stunning pictures out there. I have learned, because I don't always put out the most amazing graphics out there. Y'all would laugh if you saw some of the things I put out early on in my business, but I did the best that I had with what I could, with what I could do with Canva. And as my skills improved over time, I've changed them. But every once in a while, you'll see one of those turquoise and white graphics still pop up, because those are kind of part of my branding. That consistency, posting in this group, is part of what got this group to go. That consistency is in showing up to BNI meetings, that consistency in scheduling one-on-ones with people, that consistency is a pain in the butt. It's not that I'm doing everything. And let me be really clear, I don't have to do every single thing on the face of the earth and drive myself into the ground. Being consistent is not about that. Being consistent is picking one or two things and doing them really, really, really well, and doing those things just really, really consistently. Because if you can show up consistently and you can have a plan, those two things are going to do amazing things for your business. I can't reiterate them enough. What does that do for your marketing? Well, you can plan when you're going to lay out a new sales funnel, right? You can set up a new advertising campaign. Y'all, one of the things I hate the most when I have people come to me for advertising is they want stuff up and they want it up tomorrow. Y'all, we jump through flying flaming hoops, but there's a kind of a point where we're just going to have to say, you know, poor planning on your part does not constitute an emergency on mine. And yes, it may be something that only takes 4 or 5 hours to set up, but it may be that we're also juggling 4 or 5 or 6 other clients. So we're trying to figure out how to get the best balance for all of our clients, not just one client. And a lot of things, chances are, when you say it's just a tweak, it's really not just a simple tweak. It's something that takes hours and hours and hours to do. I was just working on a landing page for a client, which is something that I don't do very many of. Mostly my team does them. And, you know, I'm pretty fast, but it still took me hours to get the text to lay out the way that I wanted to within the confines of the system that I was using. So just know that, you know, planning and prevention and consistency are worth a pound a cure. And the other thing too, that like when you start planning your marketing, is that you don't have to pay for rush fees. You're able to get better quality. You're able to negotiate what you want. You're able to get the results that you're looking for every single time, because you planned it out and you laid out a plan and you set out a project plan, as boring as it sounds, and it's amazing. The results turn out beautifully. You know, one of the funniest stories is, you know, a lot of people think that like Zoom has just been an overnight success, and to some extent it kind of has, right? But Zoom has been around for what, 8 to 10 years now. And suddenly, now that we're all quarantined for COVID-19, you know, Zoom is having its heyday moment, right? A lot of people look at me with this Facebook group and they're like, oh, wow, you just, you know, boom, kind of come out of nowhere. And I'm like, dude, I've been doing this for 5 years. I've been growing this Facebook group for 5 years. I've been coming in here and posting consistently every single day and moderating the group every day for 5 years. But it's that consistency and showing up and having that platform built that has allowed me to continue growing my business. So I hope that those 2 tips help. Plan and be consistent. If you're not doing any planning and you're not being consistent, it's killing your business. And I can promise you, if you can change those 2 things up and put a plan in place and find a way to be consistent, even if it's artificially consistent using software, then your business is going to do so much better. I hope that you have a great night. Take care, and I will see you guys later. Let me know how I can help you here in the group. If you'd like to schedule a call with me, please do so. I'm going to post my link here at fiercelymarketing.com. That is my business. And thank you, Cindy. I appreciate it. You know, it's not about being the fastest or the most WYSIWYG or the most polished. Sometimes it's just about just showing the heck up and showing the heck up consistently. You know, the person across the street from you may have the most gorgeous flowers or the most gorgeous presentation or the most gorgeous Facebook Lives. But if they only do it once, you know, the person who's going to win is going to be that tortoise who shows up and keeps doing that Facebook Live day after day or week after week. And they're going to be the ones who succeed. They're going to be the ones who grow their business consistently. So I hope that that leaves you with some great ideas, and hope you will take care, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye.